Welcome to Stage 9 of La Vuelta 22. Ahead of the second rest day, we're starting to get a clearer picture of who can still fight for overall victory. After another solid climbing performance yesterday, today is a big test for the race leader Remco Evenepoel and Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl.
On a le maillot de leader dans l'équipe, donc c'est super important pour nous. On a déjà fait du bon boulot jusqu'à maintenant et il a des grandes jambes, donc pas des grandes sensations, je veux dire. Et voilà, aujourd'hui c'est un gros test pour lui. On va donner le maximum pour qu'il soit dans une bonne situation au pied de la dernière bosse et avant le chrono, c'est bien.
Jay Vine showed his class again yesterday, claiming his second win in the space of 3 days. He also took the polka dot jersey, which is clearly a big objective between now and Madrid.
We're only day 8, we haven't even started stage 9 yet. You know, there's still a long way to go. But yeah, I've done the breakdown of how many points are available in each week, and I'd like to do what Wout van Aert did and secure the jersey nice and early so that I can really enjoy the rest of the race.
Today's summit finish to Les Praeres, featured on La Vuelta in 2018, Simon Yates won the stage on his way to overall victory.
Feels like a long time ago now, but I'm hoping that experience helps me today. The run into the final is quite technical as well, so positioning will be important, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. They're very impressive, those guys. They're at a very high level at the moment. I'm a little bit behind, but I feel like I'm getting better each day. So hopefully as the race goes on, I can be with those guys more and more.
Stage 9 features a total of 5 climbs, but all eyes will be on the last one, which is absolutely brutal. It's a shade under 4 kilometres, but with an average gradient of nearly 13% and passages at 24%. It promises fireworks for the viewers and some very sore legs for the riders. There are bound to be some big winners and losers in the general classification. There was a fast-paced start to the day's action, with attacks coming left, right and centre. Several teams were unhappy with the makeup of the various moves. Quentin Pache of Groupama FDJ did manage to get a small gap at one point, around 20 seconds, but he was brought back before the day's first climb, the Alto del Torno. Marc Soler making friends with Rob Stannard as more attacks flew. The Spaniard didn't end up getting up the road, but the Australian managed to get into the breakaway for Alpecin-de-Koning. A group of 10 eventually got a small gap after 45 kilometres, but Tijmen Arensman was a bit too close on GC for the peloton's liking, only 3 minutes 18 down on Evenepoel. The Dutchman eventually called it quits and sat up, allowing the other 9 riders to build a more significant gap. Louis Mainkies was now the highest placed man up front, 8.5 minutes off the pace. Dylan van Baarle, the winner of this year's Paris-Roubaix, was also up there, while Stannard and Jimmy Janssens had got in the move to protect Jay Vine's polka dot jersey. Quick-Step assuming control of the peloton, with the gap out to 5 minutes at the halfway point of the stage. And the bunch appeared to be happy to let the breakaway contest the stage win. The gap remained steady at 5 minutes as they came over the third climb. Stannard and Janssens continuing to take the points on behalf of their teammate Vine, as a couple of riders were caught out on the sinuous descent.
Oh, crash!
Alexei Lutsenko, who has been pretty lively this week, was one of the riders involved. Well, the peloton still weren't making any serious inroads into the breakaway's advantage. The 9 leaders rolling through the intermediate sprint, with Filippo Conca taking maximum points, and they still had 4 minutes and 30 seconds in hand. Well, despite the extreme difficulty of the final climb, the winner looked sure to come from this group. Alpecin had 2 options with Stannard and Janssens. Van Baarle was there for Ineos, while Mainkies was perhaps the favourite for Intermarché. The other contenders, Battistella for Astana, Zambanini for Bahrain, Guglielmi for Arkea Samsic, Diaz for Burgos BH and Conca for Lotto Soudal. Battistella and Janssens looking to anticipate and attacking before the start of the final climb. The peloton really upping the tempo at the foot of Les Praeres, with Julian Alaphilippe working for Evenepoel. Juan Ayuso was the first GC favourite to make a move, followed by Evenepoel, Mas and Roglic, but Yates was dropped. Up at the front, Meintjes caught and dropped Janssens and Battistella. And it seemed that Evenepoel was in no mood to hang around. He surged away from his rivals as the gradients began to bite. The red jersey on a real charge, while the defending champion was going backwards. Roglic also lost Sepp Kuss today before the stage. Spanish trio Mas, Ayuso and Rodriguez trying to limit their losses to Evenepoel, with Meintjes closing on a memorable win.
Louis Meintjes of Intermarché Wanty-Gobert, a rider who has searched for his entire career for a World Tour stage victory, for a Grand Tour stage victory. Louis Meintjes wins the stage. Stage 9 to South Africa, stage 9 to Louis Meintjes. This rider has destroyed the favourites on today's stage. Remco Evenepoel is now going to have a huge lead in La Vuelta.
Meintjes is only the second South African to win a stage of La Vuelta after Robbie Hunter. He impressed at last month's Tour de France, coming second on the Alpe d'Huez, and now at 30 years of age, he finally has a first World Tour win. It's the 6th victory of his career and the second of this season after the Giro del Apennino in June.
Actually, I've never been on the podium of a World Tour race except for team classification. So yeah, that was one of my main goals before stopping my career. The last few days in the mountain finishes, I was not quite fast enough to keep up with the GC guys, and then if I don't get the result that way, the best is to go in the breakaway, and it worked out perfectly today. I was quite lucky. It's something really special. I think it will really take some time to set in.
That's my man. Woo!
Meintjes taking Intermarché's third Grand Tour win this season ahead of Battistella and Zampanini. Evenepoel was fourth, over 30 seconds clear of Ayuso and nearly a minute clear of Roglic. The Belgian now leads Enric Mas by a minute and 12 seconds, and he is likely to extend his lead in Tuesday's individual time trial. Roglic on the podium with just 3 seconds separating Rodriguez and Ayuso. Mads Pedersen still in green, although Sam Bennett could hit back on a couple of flatter stages next week. Jay Vine wasn't in the breakaway today, but his teammates Stannard and Janssens did a brilliant job of defending his polka dot jersey. They're now second and third in the standings. Some of the main overall contenders are also battling for the white jersey, with Evenepoel leading the two young Spaniards, Rodriguez and Ayuso. The riders will enjoy another rest day on Monday, a chance to recover from the first 9 stages and to gear up for Tuesday's time trial, a flat course of just over 30 kilometres between Elche and Alicante.